Are you a PC gamer? Fantastic news, I hope you're enjoying it. There really is so much to love about the platform, and creating your own personal setup is one of the most satisfying things out there. In this video, I'm going to go through 10 things every PC gamer should know to help you get the most out of your PC gaming experience. Problems with your Wi-Fi signal? Allow me to introduce Netgear's Nighthawk Mesh. This awesome set of Wi-Fi 6 hardware delivers a super strong signal, yet is so simple to use and packs some serious security smarts. There's even a gigabit Ethernet port on every node, so you can connect Wi-Fi-less devices, like your gaming PC, without the need for a Wi-Fi adapter. Learn a little bit more today, down with that link below. Let's start with the big one, how to increase your in-game FPS. Frames per second, or FPS for short, is the single most important thing in PC gaming, as it directly dictates exactly how smooth your game will look or feel. There's no right or wrong amount of FPS, but most gamers should probably be aiming for 60 frames a second to get that smoother than console level experience, with those of you that are fortunate enough to have a high refresh rate screen likely aiming for 100 plus. The easiest way to hit this target without investing in any new hardware is to navigate to the in-game options menu and then tweak a few things around. It's definitely going to sound a little bit confusing at first, some of them have slightly weird names, but my quick fix to achieve higher frame rates without really affecting your visuals is to always make sure that the textures are set to the highest that your VRAM will allow, and then you can start dialing down some of the other settings, with the options that make the biggest difference to the frame rates being ray tracing, anti-aliasing, ambient occlusion, and then shadow quality. So each one of these you can just safely knock down by one notch each, and to be honest, you're likely to see a huge increase in frame rates without really getting a noticeable impact on image quality, especially in fast-paced games. If at this point you are still struggling a bit, then you can turn the resolution down to something that's lower than your monitor, so maybe 1080p from 1440, but this tends to be the last thing that I will do, as it does have a big impact on the in-game visuals, but ultimately sometimes needs must, especially if you're playing on a 4K screen. Alright then Centric, that's not a bad idea. But how on earth do I actually get my frame rate up in the first place? I can't see anything. Well, Cockney Marcus. I'll tell you, it's with an overlay. There are plenty available, but the one I use is called FrameView 1.1. The great news is that this works on both AMD and Nvidia GPUs. It's completely free, and it works on almost all games right out of the box. Or I suppose more technically, the hard drive these days, because I don't know, when was the last time you put a disk in your PC? This also rather neatly leads us into tip number 3, which is understanding exactly what bottlenecking is. And this is crucial for PC gamers, as it's going to tell you exactly what you need to upgrade to your computer to improve its performance. Now, FrameView shows you most of the data that you need, as you're usually limited by either the graphics card or the processor. So have a careful look at the utilization percentages. One of them will likely be around about 95 to 99%, while the other one should be far lower. The component that's at 99% is indeed your bottleneck, and by upgrading it, you should actually get better FPS in that game. One of my favourite tips of all time, and one that saved thousands of you from PC gaming crashes, is actually as simple as ticking a box. You can do that, right? Everyone together now, press Ctrl, Shift and Escape, all at the same time. And this should bring up the task manager, which is where you can then navigate to the options and then hit the box that's labeled as always on top. And then the next time that you're in a game and sadly it crashes, yes, it does happen, PC gaming can be sometimes, then just press the same key combination, the task manager should pop up, and because it's on top of your crash game, you can then actually close the application down without needing to restart your PC. So you won't be happy about it, but you'll be less sad. Now, moving on. Hopefully most of you know this next one, but it is very important if you don't. And that's how to set your screen refresh rate. Because this is absolutely imperative for those of you that have a high refresh rate monitor. Because quite comically, a lot of them don't actually automatically run at these settings unless you manually enable it. So right click on your desktop and then hit display settings, scroll all the way to advanced and then select properties. And at this stage, you'll probably realize that this has got stupidly complicated for no real reason, but now click on monitor and then select the highest refresh rate in the list. If you weren't already using this option, then welcome to the world of true high refresh rate gaming, and RIP to anyone that's been using 60 Hz on a 144 Hz panel for years. I'm sorry for your loss. Now, computers are much faster than they used to be, especially if you're using a solid-state drive. But this doesn't stop boot times being slower than a lot of us would like. An easy way to speed this up is to stop unnecessary apps opening up on startup. To achieve this, type Startup into your Windows menu and then select Startup Apps. Here you can see all the applications you didn't even know you still had installed on your PC, and then begin disabling anything that you don't really need. Now for my favourite bit, the advanced section, oh yeah. Because did you know that games actually have super secret options that you can enable if you know what you're doing? These exist. You've actually got two types of secret to unlock. You've got launch options and then config files. Apex Legends, for instance, can run at even higher frame rates by right-clicking the game, finding the advanced launch options setting, and then typing in a max FPS argument. Then there are other games that require more specific changes by editing the config files line by line, and these are usually labeled .ini. A word of warning though, neither of these should be attempted unless you really know exactly what you're doing, but they do come in handy when you have a game that doesn't run properly, or you just want to access hidden tools like benchmarks. Woof, that was advanced, wasn't it? That was crazy! Shouldn't have stuff like that on this channel. No, we should be talking about something that everyone can enjoy. How about sharing your gameplay? It can be done at just the touch of a button. It works great on both NVIDIA and AMD graphics cards, and setting up capture can be done in the NVIDIA and AMD control panel. Simply choose a refresh rate and resolution that you want to save your files in, head into a game, and then press the hotkey of your choice. With NVIDIA, the default is Alt and F4. No, that's not funny. That's cruel. I can't do that to you. We've got some new PC gamers here that won't understand the joke. Alt F4 closes down your game. Alt F9 is what you want to do. I'm too nice. That's my problem. Also very humble. Whenever you are gaming though, please, please, please don't forget that your gaming PC will be way louder than it needs to be out of the box. So tuning your fan speed is essential to having a nice and quiet box of joy. The easiest way to do this is to download the motherboard software from your manufacturer's website. So if you have an Asus board, for instance, it's AI Suite. Alternatively, you can actually achieve this in the BIOS, but either way, the method is very much the same. Run the tuning tool and then set every fan to the profile of your individual choosing. I do find that silent is usually the best one of the bunch, but don't be afraid to create your own custom curve to make your PC silent at idle, yet very cool under load. A common problem that PC gamers are now running into is that they just don't have enough storage for all of the latest games to be on your hard drive at the same time, so you're probably going to want to make an upgrade. And there's three different types of storage device. You've got your old trusty hard drive. This is, I think, the first one I ever bought, so this is about 10 years old. You've then got an SSD in the 2.5-inch form factor, looks something like this, goes in laptops and desktops, and then you've got the most modern one, which is a M.2 SSD. These are the most expensive, these are the fastest, and obviously as you go down they get slower but cheaper. Now actually, interestingly enough, these are probably going to be the right sort of balance price to performance for most people. But NVMe storage is coming down in price so much that, to be honest, if you can afford it, I'd actually recommend getting one of these. They're easier to install as well. If you do want to learn a little bit more about storage and how to upgrade every single component in your PC, I've made a really easy guide for you, and you can find this in the end screen. But alternatively, if you want to see a full PC build from start to finish with all of the parts that you need, and ultimately show you the gaming performance at that level, then that's become a specialty of the channel, and you can find those in the end screen. But yes, that has been my top 10, not necessarily tips and tricks, but more 10 things that every PC gamer needs to know. How many did you know? Be honest. Let me know down in that comment section below, and if you have any other things you think I've missed, then please inform the community. We are nice people. Let other people know, and I'm sure it will be much appreciated. If you've liked this video, then you know what to do. Smash that like button. It really does help out. If you're on a TV, you can do it. Hit the little menu button, go to the 3 dots, and then hit the like button. I promise it's there. It's a cool little discovery for you. And of course, while you're down there, don't forget to check out Netgear's brand new Nighthawk Mesh. This Wi-Fi 6 system creates some serious range in your home, with the aim to end black spots once and for all. Protect your family with Netgear's Armor, the cybersecurity for your home, by intelligently blocking malicious websites and suspicious devices, with this working across phones, tablets, PCs, and much, much more. Start taking your Wi-Fi seriously today with Netgear's Nighthawk Mesh. Learn a little bit more down with that link below. Don't forget to get subscribed for more videos just like this, and if you do want to see some more videos, you can find them in the end screen. Thank you so much for watching, but I'll see you in the next one.